There's a huge amount of uncertainty out there at the moment, and digital transformation is still very much on organisations' agendas. One of the key lessons that we've learned through doing this over a number of years is the fact that organisations need to really focus on the data, the starting point for the process. For most organisations, they get super excited about the outputs, the deliverables, the things at the end. That's what they're paid to do. And they miss the opportunity cost of a digital transformation, which is the data side of things. For organisations that can build something like a data strategy, a data management plan that can focus on the raw materials, it'll improve how automation benefits the broader organisation, and the benefits are huge. It's not necessarily the exciting stuff that people want to talk about, but how do we capture that information? How can we categorise it? How can we maximise that data for benefit? And then the rest comes easy. Starting with the data, starting with the raw materials will make a huge difference to a business.
So when I think of how the outsourcing of IT services and data services drive efficiency, three main things that I think of. Number one, it's the opportunity to leverage your in-house IT technical experts to focus on technical development and value add. Number two, the quality of your outsourced delivery actually improves because your service provider will not just be servicing you as a customer, but others as well. So they're experts at what they do, and you can scale up the service as your business grows, or you can scale it down. And finally, it's cost effective. And I think a lot of people think that outsourcing comes with a cost association with it, a premium, so to speak. But it doesn't, because you will be one of many customers, and your outsourced service provider will leverage that cost across their customers. So it actually becomes quite a cost competitive solution. There are risks though. If something happens to your service provider, your whole business shuts down because you're completely dependent on them to deliver your IT service delivery. You lose that in-house knowledge because you're outsourcing it to a service provider. So if in the future you wanted to take responsibility again, unfortunately your team might not have the skills and knowledge to be able to look after their own systems. And finally, in outsourcing the service, that also means you're outsourcing the security risk. You're now reliant on your service provider to actually follow, process and control and comply with your IT policies and procedures.
One of the key things that we're coming into from a digital transformation perspective is the continuation and the disruption and change of the challenge of pace that we think about when we talk about digital transformation within organizations. Companies now are used to actually thinking about the design and the embedding and the implementation of the different technologies within the organizations, but they're still coming up against problems that they were looking at about 10 years ago. And for me, the biggest one is around how that change management of thinking about how technology augments and optimizes and enhances what you do, then interacts with the human element, right? And the organization being able to absorb that change to build a curious and innovative culture. The success of the digital transformation program ultimately depends on how well it's received by the people who are running the organization, who are in the first line in making sure to manage risk, to manage operations. For cybersecurity to be truly effective in the 21st century, we need to move away from the general things that are currently being used, including maturity assessments and compliance attestations. They're very important, but they're just not enough in today's fast-moving, disruptive technological age. What are you defending? What are you thinking about from your assets and from your data integrity? That is a fundamental question. Thinking about the performance of the metrics and the different defense mechanisms that you're using. Do you have key risk indicators that support your understanding of what's around the corner and how your risk landscape is about to change? And lastly, it's really thinking about not just all the various risks within your risk landscape, but really planning out and doing scenario analysis around low probability but high consequence scenarios, and thinking about the actions that you need to take in place to protect the organization.